Helo, Shwmae, sut ydych chi? Tim dwi, cyfansoddol a ceddwr ydw i. Dwi'n hoffi caneuon sy'n cynnwys llawer o ieithoedd gwahanol. So my name's Tim, I'm a composer and a writer, and basically what I said there to anybody that doesn't speak Welsh is that I love creating songs which use different languages, and that's what we're going to be learning here together. So we're going to be learning, the song's actually called, it's called Cómo estás, which is Spanish for how are you, but actually we're going to be singing Cómo estás in different languages. So I guess this really is a form of hello song. And what we have here, a song that's going to start off in Welsh, so we'll have greetings in Welsh, Helo, Shwmae, and we'll all be answering da iawn, diolch, I'm very well. Then it switches and the same music goes around, but you have a different thing to sing, different tune, different words. And then you're going to sing in Spanish, Cómo estás, Cómo está, Cómo te va? And the answer is, estoy bien, I'm really good. Then the final verse, we go around again, and we'll sing it in English. How do you do? How are you? How's it going? I'm fine, thank you. So we'll be singing that on the third verse. But that's not it. There is a fourth and final verse, and you've got two options here. You can either just repeat your favourite verse, so you could do the Welsh again, or the Spanish again, or the English again, or you could make your own words for the final verse and put it in a different language. So for instance, say you have somebody that's from Poland or Bulgaria in your class, they can tell you the ways that you can say hello in their language, and there'll be more than one, and see if you can fit that in, and everybody can learn a version then using that. Now that sounds complicated, I promise you it's not as hard as it sounds, but to be able to do that you need to get to know the song really well, first of all, using my basic version. Now, I warn you, this is quite a long video, because what I've done in this video is I want to give you everything you need in terms of how the lines should be sung. I'm also going to give you some gestures that you can use, which work really well in performance. With the gestures, you can either work standing up if you're performing for an audience, or if you're in a class and you haven't got a lot of room, you can even do it sitting down. But I've tried to keep it nice and simple for you. So I guess there are 4 sections to this video now, and I would suggest that you may want to pause after each section and consolidate, make really solid what you've done so far in that verse before you move on to the next. And then in the 4th section, I'll tell you how you can combine all the things. Before you go on watching this video, firstly, I hope I've got your interest and that you're up for learning this song. You might like to pause this video and just go to, you'll see you've got a couple of other videos there, and you've got one version which is with 3 singers singing the whole thing, and they all do the Welsh, they all do the Spanish, they all do the English, and then they split one on each for the final bit. And there's a little band playing away behind them from National Orchestra Wales as well. Put that on and watch it. It'll just give you some idea of what we're going to be learning. And then there is another video there, which is just the instrument. So I suppose is what you'd call a backing track. So that you can use then as a final one. Once you know it, you can try singing it without any of the singers helping you. And also, of course, that could be the one if you start changing any of the words. By the way, I'm all for you changing things and making them different. This is the creative way to work. You learn something and then you go, oh, I could change it. I could do it in a different language, or I could put a different version of hello in. So, but as I say, that you could do using the backing where you have no vocals over it, which means you're free to change things. So there we go. That's the end of our instructions. Now I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty of learning our song. So, mwynewch. So, we are going to learn the first verse in Welsh. Helo, Shwmae. So I've got my piano here as well, which I might use. The first line of this song goes, Helo, Shwmae. You've probably heard people say hello when they're speaking in Welsh. It's like hello, but it's with the O sound, sort of a bit more. Instead of hello, 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 and it's just one L, because of course in Welsh, 2 L's make a S sound. So if you see the words written down, you've got all the words written down there as well, which you can have a look at. Hello. And then Shwmae is a nice sort of laid back way of greeting somebody. How's it going? Okay. So And the tune is Helo, Shwmae. So let's try that bit. You can sing that with me after 4, okay, after 3 even. And I can do it in Welsh. 1, 2, 3. Helo, Shwmae. I'm also going to put in a very simple gesture, so I'll do everything the opposite way around. So with your right hand, so hang on, with it this way around, it'd be like that, wouldn't it? With your right hand, when we go Helo, we just do a gesture like that. So I'm just gesturing down here, it might be going out the camera shot, but you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to go Helo, Shwmae. So ar ôl 3, 1, 2, 3. Helo, Shwmae. Then we're going to say sit ddysgu, which are slightly more formal, or if you were talking to lots of people, sit ddysgu is another way of saying hello. So I'm just going to do the first bit and go straight into the second bit so you can see how it works. And guess what? I'm going to do a gesture on this side. So the first bit goes 1, 2, 3. Helo, Shwmae. Sit ddysgu. Should we try it once more? 1, 2, 3. Helo, Shwmae. Sit ddysgu. One more. Sit oiti. So that is speaking to one person, one person, a friend. Sit oiti. I went even higher. Now for that one, I'm going to use both my hands. So these gestures, they're not going to make the song harder. They're going to make the song easier because it will just give everything a really clear shape and structure to it. So let's put together what we have so far. Try it with me. 1, 2, 3. Helo, Shwmae. Sit ddysgu. Sit oiti. So there's our verse, okay? Now, there is an answer. We've said 3 different ways. Hello, how's it going? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? In 3 different ways. And our answer is going to be da iawn. You might have heard that before. Often when a teacher says that something was very good, they go da iawn. Now, it's not just when something's good, it's when somebody asks you how you are, you say, not very good, da iawn. And you'll probably then say, diolch yn fawr, you can say diolch yn fawr, or you can say diolch. So diolch yn fawr is thank you very much. Diolch, thanks. Da iawn, diolch. 1, 2, 3. 3 times, okay? So now there is a thumb this time. So instead of a hand, we're going to use a thumb. So we're going to use this thumb, then that thumb, then both thumbs. Now the thumb comes before you sing. It's what we call a rest. It's a moment where you're not singing the music. And it's always difficult to know when to leave these little moments when you don't sing or you don't play an instrument. And that is the rest. So it goes, boom. Da iawn, diolch. Da iawn, diolch. Da iawn, diolch. Okay, here it comes again. Da iawn, diolch. Da iawn, diolch. Da iawn, diolch. So that is the whole of the first verse. And the intro is something like this. When you put the backing on, you get some drums first of all, and then you get the bangos. Helo, Shwmae. So you get the idea. So try it with me without any music now. And then maybe before you watch the next section, put the demo on with the singers and see if you can sing along to the first verse on there. So here we go. After 3, ar ôl 3, 1, 2, 3. Helo, Shwmae. Sit ddysgu. Sit oiti. Da iawn, diolch. Da iawn, diolch. Da iawn, diolch. And so that is all of the first verse, the Welsh verse. So now I'm going to move on. So if you're not ready to move on, that's fine. Just pause the video, have a little go at what we've done so far. You've got your words there. You've got the video with the singers on it as well. And you've even got the video with just the backing on it, so you can see if you can just sing it with the backing. It's fairly obvious. You hear the bit that goes, hello. So that leads you into that. Anyway, on to the next verse. So, en español. So en español is me speaking in Spanish saying in Spanish. En español. In Spain, people tend to say lots of different things. One of the things they say very commonly, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás means how are you? And this is if you're talking to a friend. Okay, so a bit like you may know that in Welsh there is ti, which is you, one person, a friend, a child, a pet, and then there's a more formal chi when you're either talking to lots of people, or maybe you're talking to a teacher at school, or somebody you don't know, like you've gone into a shop. Okay, Spanish does the same sorts of things. ¿Cómo estás? When it has the S on the end, it means you are talking to one person who you know, a friend of yours. So this is a very common greeting in the street if you meet somebody you know. ¿Cómo estás? Now, there's also another one, if you were, say, talking to somebody you didn't know, still one person. ¿Cómo está? It's almost identical. There's no S on the end, okay? So, by the way, if you get the wrong ones and you're in a situation where you're speaking Spanish, nothing will happen. Okay, people will still, well, things will happen, people will still understand you, but you won't have done some terrible thing by using the wrong form. But ¿Cómo estás? Is a friend. ¿Cómo está? Might be if you're going into a shop and you're saying, good morning, how are you? And you go into the shop and you go, oh, ¿Cómo está? And then you go on to ask for something. So this is how it fits. We use the same music. You'll hear all this da da ba ba da dum ba da da, but you have something different to sing. So in my head, I'm hearing the Welsh bit going bum 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 ba, and then we sing the Spanish bit. ¿Cómo estás? With an S. Then in my head, I hear the Welsh bit. Da 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 da. Then with the other hand, ¿Cómo está? You get the idea? So I'm going to just go so you know when to come in. Okay, so it goes dum 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 ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está? Last one. ¿Cómo te va? Now that literally means how are you going? How are you going? How's it going? Might be the closest in English. So that's what I would call informal. It's not formal, is it? It's not like, oh, hello, how are you this morning? Which is quite formal today. Or if you go, hiya, how you doing? So it's that sort of thing. ¿Cómo te va? How's it going? And you say, if you look at it written down, you see it looks like Spanish is very similar to English, the way the letters are written, but there are a few little rules. Now, I'm not going to go into them all now, but a really useful one is V's. When you see the word va, V-A, the Spanish in Spain like to make that V almost like a B, a gentle B, halfway between a V and a B. So how's that going to sound? So here's the wrong way. ¿Cómo te va? People will still understand you. But actually it should be said, ¿Cómo te va? With a soft B, okay? ¿Cómo te va? So we're using the same gestures we had before, but remember, because you sing later than the Welsh bit, the gestures will happen later as well. So it creates a really interesting visual picture when we have one group doing the Welsh and one group doing the Spanish at the same time. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's just rehearse what we have so far. So this is ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo te va? So ¿Cómo está? With that hand. ¿Cómo está? With that hand. Then both hands. ¿Cómo te va? So the music goes da 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 da. ¿Cómo estás? Da 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 da. ¿Cómo está? Da 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 da. ¿Cómo te va? Now we're up quite high. The answer is estoy. I am. Really useful expression. Estoy bien. Now, bien is written B-I-E-N, but again, don't make the B too hard. Estoy bien. It's almost going back to a B. Estoy bien. Estoy. Can you hear? I'm not going bien. Estoy bien. Bien. Like that, okay. Estoy bien. Now, this is as high as the song goes. So, here's the thumbs again. Estoy bien. Estoy bien. Estoy bien. Okay. Here is the whole of the Spanish bit. Let's try it together. So I'll just do the da 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 da. Cómo estás? Da 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 da. Cómo está? Da 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 da. Cómo te va? Estoy bien, estoy bien, estoy bien. And that is all of the Spanish verse. It's the same backing track, but as you heard, the tune fits differently. So when you brought all these together, you're going to get some different things happening in a really interesting way. So by all means, pause the video and go back over what you have so far. One thing that might be a good idea would be to put on the backing, but the one with the singers on as well. And on that then you'll be singing the Welsh verse, followed by the Spanish verse, and then you can just pause it. Okay, so that would be a good idea, at this stage. Anyway, I'm going to go on to the third and final verse now. On the website, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do it in English, but you could easily do this in a different language. Okay, so I'll talk more about that at the end. Okay, so in English, it's quite high now, because we're gone, estoy bien, estoy bien, estoy bien. Now that feels quite high, but I promise you, when you're doing it in a big presentation for parents or for the rest of the school, it feels great going, estoy bien, when everybody's doing it. Okay, so just go with that. Don't be put off. Don't feel you've got to go, estoy bien. Do it big and bold up there. Estoy bien. Now, you've got up to that high note, and this is going to lead you into the third English verse. And I thought most people watching this will be pretty familiar with English already, I expect. I'm doing the whole video in English. So I thought, let's play around with this a bit. And I thought, let's have a ridiculously old-fashioned and formal way of saying, how are you? And the expression I've used is, how do you do? Now, there was a time back in the day, to use that terrible old expression, when people used to say this a lot. When you met somebody for the first time, you go, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. James. And you go, oh, Mr. James, how do you do? Now, people do occasionally do it now, but I expect not very often, okay? But it is still in use occasionally. It's very formal if you are meeting somebody, like somebody really important maybe, or somebody older who you thought you need to be more formal with. How do you do? And the tune goes, how do you do? And then you're going to go, how are you? How are you? So that's a bit more normal every day, isn't it? How are you? The last one, very laid back. How's it going? Now, how's it going? Going has a G on the end, doesn't it? Going. But you know what? People hardly ever say that G, especially when they're being very casual. Like you just saw someone saying, hi, how's it going? You go, going, don't you? And that's fine, because that's how people do it. So let's sing it like that. So when we do how do you do, we're going to be very formal. We might even be a little bit more upright. Let's try that. And also, we're going to do the hand, but because we're going to sing a long note, we're going to do that with our hand, which may sound strange, but it will help keep the note going, and it will look good visually. Only on this verse. How do you do? How are you? How's it going? Last bit. The thumbs again. Now it's going to be quite low. I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine. And again, I went feeling. You can go feeling with the soft G's, up to you. I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine. So here is the whole of the English verse. So first of all, we have to get ourselves up here. Let's go, how. Let's try it together. Here we go. How. There's our note. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you do? How are you? How's it going? I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine. So, what you could do now is pause the video and put the version on with the 3 singers and sing a verse in Welsh, then the verse in Spanish, then the verse in English. And once you get beyond that, you will notice they all then sing it again with the three languages mixed together. Just before you do that, let's just together now sing all three verses. So here's our first one, Helo, Shwmae. So starting in Welsh, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Helo, Shwmae, sut ydych chi? Sut wyt ti? Da iawn, diolch, da iawn, diolch, da iawn, diolch, dum dum dum, dum 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 da. Cómo estás, dum dum da da. Cómo está, dum 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 da. Cómo te va? Estoy bien, estoy bien, estoy bien, dum dum dum. How do you do? How are you? How's it going? I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling fine. Dum, dum, dum. And then that's into your final verse. So on the final verse, the ideal would be if we then got all three mixed together. Now, I'm just going to give you a little clue as to how, and again, you might want to pause the video now, but when you're ready, come back to this bit at the end, and I'll show you how you combine, first of all, the Welsh and the Spanish. And it's something like this. If you split the class into two, you may already have two classes, in which case you've got two separate groups already. And the idea is when you conduct it, say in our minds now, the Welsh group is on this side, and the Spanish group is on this side. Okay, so everybody's done everything, but when we get to this point, we're going to split it. And everybody on this side is going to go, Helo, Shwmae. And before they finish that, this group goes, Cómo estás? So you'll get something a bit like this. Now, there's only one of me, but I can still give you an impression of how that works. And I'm going to conduct it, so whoever's conducting now, you'll be doing a bit of this as well. So it goes, dum, 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 dum. Helo, Shwmae, cómo estás? Sut ydych chi? Cómo está? Sut wyt ti? Cómo te va? Beat. Bum, bum. Now, these guys will be going, da iawn, diolch, da iawn, diolch, da iawn, diolch. These guys will be going, estoy bien, estoy bien, estoy bien. And that will sound like this. Or help I have the right notes, wouldn't it? So, get the idea. So that's the next stage. Then you've got it in two languages. And you go, well, what about the English one? What about that other language? Split then finally into three groups. So this could be year 4, year 5, year 6, or year 1, 2, and 3, however you want to do it. Now, that means then that the Welsh and the English will start together. So what you need to do is practice, first of all, just starting the Welsh and the English at the same time. Now, the Welsh bit is, Helo, Shwmae. The English bit is, how do you do? You get the idea. So, something like that, okay? And of course, then you've got the Welsh. So, that's the final stage. Put on the video with the three singers, so you've got a little bit of help and you can have them all going at the same time. So, just to reiterate, Welsh, Spanish, English. Welsh, Spanish, English, all at the same time. And at the very end, the band goes, ba, ba, ba. And everybody should go, cha, cha, cha. Okay, and it's only on the very last one. You'll hear it in the band. Cha, cha, cha. Okay, so I think that's about all I have to say. You're probably quite relieved. I've been going on for a while now. However, I'd just like to leave you with a French version that you could do. Instead of substitute this for the English one. So use the same tune. How do you do? But in French, you could go, Comment ça va? Comment vas-tu? Comment allez-vous? And that would be, Comment ça va? Comment vas-tu? Comment allez-vous? And for the answer, you can say ça va, ça va, ça va bien. But if you say oui, yes, I'm good, it fits nicely. So it goes, oui, ça va bien, oui, ça va bien, oui, ça va bien. Cha cha cha. Okay, or if it's the very last one. So that's my suggestion for a French one. It's easy to do a German one because you've got things like wie geht's. So there are so many different versions you can do. So enjoy. I hope you found this useful. And now when you do it, have the words maybe on the screen because it's possible to have the words and you can have the video there as well. And start using with the video with the voices on. But once you know it, drop it out and just use the backing with just the instruments playing on it. So, moinewch, hwyl fawr, adios, French, au revoir.